Summertime 2023 is officially kicked off, which means beaches, cookouts, camping, and vacations. We all love to cut loose and hit another state or country every now and then. And if you're like me, you like to check out the local coin shop scene when you do. But with the cost of living already higher and everything being more expensive in tourist towns as it is, are these shops worth visiting? I'm going to go over my recent coin shop crawl at Myrtle Beach, plus I'll show you an awesome find that I picked up at one of them. And it wasn't silver or gold. We're going to talk about all that and more, so make sure you stay tuned. YouTube, how the heck are you? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And as always, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'd like to thank you for being here to check out the new video. And of course, for all the amazing support. It really does mean a lot. You guys already know the next words. Best damn community on YouTube, without a doubt. You guys are the best. So today, we're going to talk about visiting local coin shops when we're on vacation, and if they should be avoided in tourist areas. Now, I had the opportunity to meet Patriotic Stacker and his awesome wife and kids over the weekend down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We had a blast on the beaches and at the restaurants. And of course, he and I, we hit the local coin shops. Without the wives. They weren't interested in participating. Shocker. One of the shops we ran into was a place called Galleries of Myrtle Beach. And we had the best time talking with the owners, Joe LaBarbera and Brad Johnson. Now, I'm actually going to have them on an interview very soon, so you'll definitely want to check in on that. Really great guys with solid views on present-day issues. But hey, all that said, let's go ahead and roll this thing. Alright, so the common theme I'm sure you've noticed when you're out of town at places that cater to high tourism like coastal towns, resort areas, and mountain towns, stuff like that, is that the coin shops are definitely priced higher than your average in-state shops. Now, as much as we hate to see that, it's just a reality. But hey, let me know in the comments down below if you've actually been to a tourist town that had good deals on gold and silver. Maybe I'll add those to my next trip. But anyway, in talking with several places that I've been to, it seems their prices are geared more toward APMEX levels, which is typically on the high side. But here's the thing that so many of us forget. Rent is expensive in beach and resort towns, and they have to make up that cost somewhere. Now, online dealers have large amounts of stock, and they can sell in bulk. Now, local businesses, they've got to work their butts off just to keep the lights on. So this is one of the coin shops on the South Carolina coast that Patriotic and I visited, and it's called Coin Galleries of Myrtle Beach. Now, I don't know what these guys are paying for their brick and mortar, but I did a quick search on the average lease cost for a 1,400 square foot storefront in Myrtle Beach, and I came up with an at best conservative estimate of $4,083 a month. Now, you have to sell a lot of silver and gold to come up with that kind of money. This place here was a smaller shop, so probably a third of that. You have to figure roughly $1,300 to $1,500 a month or more, not including utilities and take-home money for the guys working there. So in comparison to my LCS at home, I found that they, pretty much like everybody else, were a little high on some stuff and average with the others. It really just depended on what you were looking for. But, hey, I like to take home some things for souvenirs, and instead of crappy beach store junk, I go for the silver and gold. And that said, I just want to show you a couple of things here that I picked up down there in Myrtle Beach, and I'm going to save my favorite for last. This is really a small set of finds, so, nothing blockbuster here. But you know what? It's the little things that can be the coolest. But I did pick up this 1970 Panama, this is a 925 sterling silver. 5 Balboas. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the shine on that thing. I got a more than fair price on this one, surprisingly. I've seen it go for a heck of a lot more than what I paid for it. But this is just awesome. I love my Balboas, and I did not have this one. So this was a great pickup for me. And I got it at a good price, so bonus. But yeah, really sweet coin. Fantastic condition. Next up, I picked up an Annex Slab Silver Eagle. I can hear you now. You guys know me. I don't collect slab bullion. I don't see the point in it unless it's a key date. But, like I said earlier, I don't mind getting something like this as a souvenir of my visit. It's a cool looking slab, and when I pick it up, I'll know I got it from Myrtle Beach. Unlike everything else I've stacked where I have zero recollection of where the stuff came from. But this is it's a nice slab. I like it. And one of the few that put the obverse on the back of the slab, which is kind of cool. So this was a first strike coin in 21 when they changed the design. Not bad. I really didn't pay all that much for it over what Eagles are going for, so this was a decent buy. So we're up to my favorite pickups at Coin Galleries of Myrtle Beach, and they are a couple of copper medals. Yep. These are 1955 U.S.S. Constellation copper medals, and if you're not in the know, Old Ironsides was actually one of the first 6 heavy frigates ever built for the Navy back in 1797. Think about that. One of the first ships in the Navy. And it's the only one remaining today. Now, the fleet was initially built to combat piracy against U.S. ships because it was god-awful back in the day. Just terrible. So she was built to protect fleets. But the Constellation made the most of her time with other important missions, like the First and Second Barbary Wars and the War of 1812. And in between, she was capturing slave ships. She's also noted for 2 brutal battles with French ships back in her time as well. Now, you can currently find the Constellation in Baltimore's Inner Harbor, where she's been since, I believe, 1968. But it's also interesting to note that she was originally built there. So, built there, retired there. Pretty cool. A couple of stats on these real quick. Here's the big one. They were struck from the copper spikes that were used in the original construction of the Constellation when she was completed way back in 1797. I mean, you're literally holding U.S. history in your hand when you have these. The copper came from a ship that was built only 21 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That's awesome. And the price to buy one of these back in 1955 was $1, and all proceeds went to the foundation that was restoring the ship during that time frame. And on a side note, she was completely restored again in 1999. There were 37,000 of these medals issued, and ownership of one was supposed to get you free lifetime admission to the ship. But the folks who've tried that have been turned away and told you gotta pay up. That kind of stinks, but hey, these were minted in the 50s. The economy sucks, times change, and lifetime admissions apparently expire. But hold on to your butts. There's some controversy behind the whole story of the Constellation, since it seems to have an identity crisis. When the Navy donated the ship to the city, it insisted that it was the original Constellation. But some studies now dispute that, as several researchers kind of believe that the provenance provided by the Navy was doctored and forged to support that notion. And the researchers are sticking to their guns and believing that while some parts of this Constellation may be original, a good portion of it was rebuilt in 1854, and it's documented. So these aren't just cool historical coins made from a legendary ship, that still stands, but they're also a small part of a huge dispute. And the world goes on. So, quick history aside, let's start wrapping up this video. I think it's pretty safe to say that resort town coin shops are mostly going to be on the pricey side, and I've shown you the reasons for that. It's really no different than the overpriced Chinese crap that sits in all the shops down there. But it all boils down to operating costs for most places, and yeah, there are some insane owners out there who are they're going to ask a ton for their stuff, but there are also some reasonable shops to be found if you're willing to put the time in to find them. Now, to close that out, it might be a better idea to scope out the neighboring towns away from the resort areas and maybe see if you can find that diamond in the rough. But I did find some cool stuff at the Coin Gallery in Myrtle Beach, and I came away with a couple of things that I can really appreciate. So to me, it was a good visit. All right, there you have it. Still stacking while on vacation. FYI, my wife was just shaking her head when I told her I was meeting patriotic to hit the local coin shops, but she gets it. She gets it. And pretty much she just accepts that I'm going to look whenever we go somewhere. Now, we did get plenty of beach time and attraction time and found some great restaurants, and I knocked out my fair share of crab legs, so it's all good. Anyway, be sure to leave a comment down below, and let me know if you guys hit the coin shops when you're on vacation, and if you found any deals when you did. You know I love going through the comments, and I do try to respond to each one. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode, but in the meantime,
what do you want to do with your life?
damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks.